So I want you to imagine washing your hair.
Okay, I'm with you.
You lather up this massive handful of heavy shampoo, you scrub it deeply into your scalp, and then you just towel it off and walk away.
Oh, wow. No, that sounds awful.
Right, no rinsing. You just let that sticky, dense soap dry right into your hair.
Yeah, you would literally never do that.
Never. Yet right now, that is exactly what is happening to the largest filter in your home. So do you really know what's hiding in your carpet after a cleaning? Are you sure you're getting what you pay for?
I mean, most people definitely aren't.
Exactly. In this deep dive, we're uncovering the dirty truth about carpet and rug cleaning in Georgia, revealed, and what every homeowner should know before booking a service.
It's a topic with a lot of misconceptions, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. But before we get into the microscopic ecosystem under your feet, we need to talk about the professionals who actually solve this problem the right way. Call the sponsor now, Carpet and Rug Cleaning in Georgia. Phone 404-891-0225.
Yeah, they do fantastic work.
They really do. This deep dive is brought to you by Four Seasons Air Care, LLC. And, they do so much more than just carpets. They offer comprehensive air duct cleaning GA, crawl space encapsulation, ductwork installation and repair, dryer vent cleaning, disinfection services, HVAC system cleaning, and water damage restoration.
Basically, if your home breathes it, they clean it.
That's a great way to put it. And we have a massive stack of sources in front of us today to get through.
We really do.
We are looking at guidelines from the EPA, the Carpet and Rug Institute, and detailed service protocols directly from Four Seasons Air Care. Our mission today is to decode the massive difference between a genuine professional deep clean and a deceptive, cheap surface polish that actually leaves your house dirtier.
Which is incredibly common, unfortunately.
Right. But before we jump in, let me just say it one more time. Again, that's Four Seasons Air Care at 404-891-0225 for your carpet and rug cleaning needs in Georgia.
Highly recommend giving them a call.
Okay, let's unpack this, because I think we all share this delusion. You spend a Saturday morning pushing the vacuum around the living room, you get those satisfying little parallel lines in the carpet pile, and you stand back thinking your house is pristine.
Oh, the parallel lines. Everyone loves those.
Exactly. But looking at the data you brought in, our standard vacuuming routine is basically just mowing the lawn while completely ignoring the toxic soil underneath.
Yeah, that is a highly accurate way to visualize it. We are dealing with the psychology of surface appearances versus the physical reality of gravity.
How so?
Well, vacuuming is absolutely essential to control loose top-level dirt. But a household vacuum, it only has the aerodynamic force to grab what is sitting loosely on the very top of the carpet fibers.
Right, the stuff you can actually see.
Exactly. Underneath that surface, gravity and just everyday foot traffic have continuously pushed down heavy soil, millions of dead skin cells, pet dander, and microscopic food particles.
Ugh, that is incredibly gross to think about.
It is, and the sources emphasize that the geographic location fundamentally changes this chemistry. We are talking specifically about the environment in North Georgia, which feels like a completely different beast compared to a dry climate.
Right, because North Georgia is basically a swamp half the year.
Pretty much. North Georgia homes are fighting a localized two-front environmental war. First, you have the persistent humidity. The climate data consistently shows relative humidity highs in the 70% range or above.
Which is just miserable.
It is. And from a molecular standpoint, when you have 70% humidity, fabrics become incredibly efficient at holding onto odors. The ambient moisture actually acts as a binding agent.
So it's sticking things to the floor.
Yeah. It adheres particulate matter to the nylon or polyester fibers of the rug. And second, you add the infamous Georgia pollen season into that humid mix.
Oh, right. The dreaded yellow snow that coats the driveways and the cars every April.
It absolutely coats the inside of your home as well. That fine microscopic pollen settles right onto your floors.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and when you mix that biological particulate with everyday foot traffic, indoor dust, and that heavy humidity, you are effectively mashing a biological sticky paste deep into the base of your carpet.
So a vacuum isn't going to touch that?
Not at all. A standard upright vacuum cleaner simply does not generate the lift required to pull a dense paste out of tightly twisted fibers.
Which brings us back to the unrinsed shampoo analogy. When people realize their vacuum isn't cutting it, they usually run to the grocery store and rent one of those DIY machines. Or, they buy those foaming spray cans.
Yeah, the classic Saturday afternoon DIY project.
Right. But reading the chemistry breakdown in these sources, it seems like those DIY solutions are actually accelerating the destruction of the carpet. So DIY cleaning is like washing your hair with shampoo, but never rinsing it out.
Yes, exactly. The chemistry of DIY cleaning is where most homeowners unknowingly sabotage their floors.
How does that happen?
Well, those over-the-counter sprays and rental machines rely heavily on surfactants. So a surfactant is basically a molecule with two ends. One end loves water, and the other end loves oil and dirt.
Okay, makes sense.
Right, so when you apply it, the oil-loving end grabs the grime. But here's the critical failure point. Those rental machines completely lack the industrial-grade extraction power needed to pull that heavy liquid back out of the carpet pad.
Oh, I see. So the water eventually evaporates, but the soap stays behind.
Precisely. You are leaving a heavy concentration of surfactants embedded in the rug. And remember, those molecules have an end that is chemically designed to grab oil and dirt.
Wait, so it's actively grabbing new dirt?
Yes. Now your carpet is filled with millions of microscopic dirt magnets. The next time you walk across it, those sticky molecules strip the dirt right off the soles of your shoes.
That explains so much.
Yeah. Homeowners often notice their carpet looking dull, flat, and dirtier much faster after a DIY clean. What's fascinating here is that the ANSI and ISCRC S100 standards, which are the industry benchmarks, make it clear.
What do they say?
They state that true deep cleaning requires hot water extraction and fiber-safe chemistry, not just surface scrubbing, to physically remove that sticky residue and embedded grit.
Wow. And leaving a sticky residue isn't just bad chemistry, though. Looking at the industry data, it actually seems like a dark business tactic used by shady contractors.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Because if your carpet gets dirtier faster because they left soap in it, you have to hire them again sooner.
Which brings us to those flyers we all get in the mail offering to clean an entire house for suspiciously low prices, like $50. How do those scams actually work?
Well, the $50 whole house flyer is the definition of the classic bait and switch scam.
Yeah.
I mean, it is economically impossible to perform a legitimate, chemically sound, deep clean of an entire home for $50 when you factor in labor, fuel, and the cost of maintaining specialized equipment.
So they're losing money on the $50.
Oh, for sure. The low price is just the bait to get their technician physically standing inside your living room. And once they are inside, the psychological pressure of sunk costs kicks in. They're already there, holding the equipment, so when the price changes, it's just harder to say no.
That is exactly the trap. The technician will suddenly inform you that the advertised price only covers a basic water pass.
A basic water pass.
Yeah, just water. If you want any kind of pre-treatment for spots, which is standard in any real clean, well, that is an extra fee.
Of course it is.
If they have to move a coffee table, there is an extra fee. If you happen to walk on the carpet, they classify it as a high-traffic area and apply a premium charge. A cheap coupon instantly morphs into a massive, extortive bill.
That's infuriating. And the most frustrating part of the research is that even after you pay those hidden fees, you still aren't getting a proper clean.
No, not at all.
The industry calls it the blow-and-go method. They just rush through the house, skipping the dry soil removal entirely.
Which is a huge mistake.
Right, because if you don't do a thorough, professional dry vacuuming first to remove that pollen paste we talked about, and you just start blasting hot water into the carpet, you aren't cleaning. You are literally just turning dry dirt into thick mud at the base of the carpet.
Exactly. And because they're rushing to hit their quota of jobs for the day, they do not take the time to extract the water properly. They leave your carpets completely soaked, which structurally degrades the backing of the carpet and invites a host of biological issues.
And this right here, this is exactly why finding a transparent, verified contractor is critical for protecting your home. You cannot rely on a blow-and-go scam, which is why we are partnering with Four Seasons Air Care LLC.
They really are a breath of fresh air in this industry.
They are. They offer flat-rate pricing. That means no hidden fees and absolutely no aggressive upselling when a technician is standing in your hallway. They are 5-star, Google verified, and Yelp reviewed.
The reviews really speak for themselves.
They do. Listen to the actual experiences of their customers. Jamie Bernstein wrote, "I cannot give this company enough praise. They took their time and used care to clean everything." And Tammy Jimenez noted, "They are on time and professional. You need a company that respects your home and takes their time."
Time is definitely the most important factor in a good cleaning.
Exactly. So call the sponsor now. Carpet and Rug Cleaning in Georgia. Phone 404-891-0225. Whether you need air duct cleaning GA, crawl space encapsulation, water damage restoration, or HVAC system cleaning, they are the trusted experts. Call a sponsor now. Carpet and Rug Cleaning in Georgia. Phone 404-891-0225. 0225.
Yeah, those customer reviews highlight the two metrics that matter most: transparency and time. When vetting any service, you must ensure they are licensed, bonded, and insured.
That's a non-negotiable.
Absolutely. You also need to confirm they are using background-checked actual company employees. Many of the discount operators use unvetted subcontractors picked up for the day, which means zero accountability if your property is damaged.
That's a really good point. Okay, let's shift gears to the actual physics of a legitimate clean. Because looking at the Carpet and Rug Institute guidelines, I have a major concern.
Oh, what's that?
Well, the gold standard for cleaning is universally listed as hot water extraction. But here's where it gets really interesting. We just established that North Georgia is incredibly humid,
Yeah.
often sitting at 70% plus.
Yes, very humid.
So if a company comes into my house in Marietta or Alpharetta in the middle of a sweltering, humid July and pumps hot water into my carpet, aren't they just creating a massive mold farm? How does adding water to a humid environment solve the problem?
This raises an important question, and I love that you brought this up. It is a completely logical concern, and it highlights why the extraction phase is the most critical part of the entire process.
Okay, break that down for me.
The secret to hot water extraction is not just the thermodynamics of the hot water breaking down oils, it is the physical mechanics of the negative air vacuum.
So it's about the pressure differential they create.
Yes. A true professional utilizes heavy-duty, truck-mounted, or high-capacity negative air equipment. This is not a shop vac.
Right, you can't just buy this at a hardware store.
Exactly. It creates a vacuum seal that is so powerful it forces the moisture, along with all the suspended soil and pollen, up and out of the fibers almost instantaneously.
Wow, instantaneously.
Pretty much. The carpet should feel slightly damp to the touch when they leave, but it should never be soaked down to the padding. If water reaches the carpet pad and sits there in Georgia humidity, it takes days to dry, and that is a severe mold risk.
That sounds like a nightmare.
It is. But with proper professional negative air extraction, the carpet dries in hours, neutralizing any mold threat.
Okay, so the extraction saves the carpet from mold. But looking at the EPA documentation we have here, the extraction is also saving our lungs.
Oh, absolutely.
The EPA states that indoor air can be significantly more polluted than outdoor air, and they specifically point to flooring as a culprit.
Yeah, the EPA focuses heavily on indoor particulate matter. We tend to view carpets purely as decorative floor coverings. But from an environmental engineering perspective, your carpet is the largest air filter in your home.
A filter? I never thought of it like that.
Most people don't, but it tracks ambient dust mites, bacteria, pet dander, and that invasive Georgia pollen, keeping it out of the breeding zone.
But just like an HVAC filter, a carpet filter eventually gets full, right?
Exactly. And once it reaches capacity, the physics work against you. Every time you walk across a heavily soiled carpet, the impact of your footfall acts like a bellows.
Oh, yuck. So it's just shooting back into the air.
Yes, it forcefully ejects microscopic clouds of those contaminants back up into the air. Because these particles are so fine, they bypass the body's natural respiratory filters when inhaled.
That's terrifying.
It severely degrades your indoor air quality and contributes heavily to what the EPA defines as sick building syndrome. It triggers chronic respiratory issues, unexplained allergies, and persistent headaches.
Which explains why eco-friendly, fiber-safe chemistry is so vital. I mean, if the goal is to improve air quality, pumping the carpet full of harsh, volatile chemicals defeats the purpose.
100%.
The protocols from Four Seasons Air Care emphasize using safe chemistry alongside specific physical tools, like 100% cotton bonnets and rotary extractors.
Right, because you never want to replace biological pollutants with chemical pollutants. Professional, eco-friendly chemistry is engineered to break the molecular bond between the soil and the carpet fiber without leaving toxic residue behind.
And the tools help with that.
Yeah, the rotary extractors and cotton bonnets provide gentle, consistent mechanical agitation. They lift the heavy soil without tearing or fraying the carpet pile.
That makes sense.
And by physically extracting the contaminants, you are eliminating the actual source of the lingering odors. You aren't spraying chemical perfumes to temporarily mask the smell of wet dog and pollen. You are removing the microscopic dog dander and pollen entirely.
It really requires a fundamental shift in how we view our floors. It's not just about making the living room look pretty for guests. It's about actively managing the biological load of the house.
That is the perfect way to phrase it.
So let's translate these heavy technical manuals into a practical guide. I was looking through the NSII CRC S100 standard, which basically reads like the strict building code for professional cleaning, and it completely reframes the cleaning process.
It's very rigorous.
It isn't just one guy with a wand spraying water. It
Yeah.
requires a rigid multi-stage protocol.
The ANSI standard is uncompromising because, while skipping a step compromises the entire structure of the clean, the professional blueprint has 6 distinct steps.
Okay, what's step 1?
The protocol mandates that the process begins with a thorough pre-inspection. A technician must physically assess the pH levels of existing stains, identify the fiber type, and locate delicate sections before any equipment is even turned on.
Right, because cleaning wool is totally different from nylon.
Exactly. Then step 2 is furniture removal.
And reading further into the standard, it blew my mind that moving the furniture isn't considered an add-on service. It's a mandatory structural requirement.
It has to be. The areas beneath light furniture are undisturbed soil pools. If you don't move them, you are leaving massive reservoirs of dust mites and allergens that will immediately migrate back to the clean areas of the carpet.
Oh, that makes total sense. What's next?
Step 3 is the dry soil prep we discussed. Removing the dry particulate matter first ensures you aren't manufacturing mud.
Right, getting the dry stuff out first.
Then, step 4 is when they introduce the chemistry. That is when the targeted pretreatment occurs. Specific, fiber-safe surfactants are applied to stubborn spots, organic stains, and the dark, high-traffic lanes where oils from bare feet have bonded to the fibers.
Okay, so pre-treating the worst parts.
Yes. Once the chemistry has time to dwell and break those bonds, the main event begins. Step 5, the hot water extraction. The machine injects water at precise temperatures to dissolve the pre-treated soil, while the negative air vacuum simultaneously lifts the water and the contaminants out of the house.
That sounds incredibly satisfying.
It is. And finally, step 6 is a mandatory final walkthrough to guarantee the extraction was successful and the carpet is on track for a rapid dry.
It is an incredibly rigorous science. So the ultimate practical question for the listener is about timing. So what does this all mean for the listener's calendar? How often should they actually be doing this?
Well, if you look at the baseline recommendations from the Carpet and Rug Institute, they suggest a professional cleaning every 12 to 18 months.
Okay, a year to a year and a half.
However, that baseline assumes a highly controlled, low-traffic environment. We have to contextualize that timeline for the realities of the listener's environment.
Right, the reality of living in Georgia with high humidity, heavy pollen, and an active household.
Exactly. If you are dealing with the April pollen surge in Atlanta, and you have a household with children running in and out or a couple of dogs tracking in clay, that 12 to 18-month baseline is insufficient.
Really?
Oh, yeah. In a high-traffic scenario, the abrasive grit acting like sandpaper against the carpet fibers will drastically shorten the life of the rug. To protect the physical investment of the flooring and to maintain safe, breathable indoor air quality, you truly need a professional extraction twice a year.
Twice a year. Wow.
Yeah, every 4 to 6 months is the optimal schedule to prevent the floor from becoming a biological hazard.
Every 4 to 6 months to stop your living room from becoming a source of sick building syndrome. That is wild.
It really changes your perspective, doesn't it?
It really does. Well, we have covered a tremendous amount of ground today, peeling back the layers of a chore we all thought we understood.
We definitely dug deep.
We started with the jarring realization that our daily vacuuming is merely an illusion of clean, leaving a dangerous, sticky paste of pollen and skin cells buried in the fibers. We exposed the severe danger of DIY soap residues that chemically attract dirt, trapping homeowners in a cycle of ruined carpets.
A vicious cycle.
And we broke down the predatory mechanics of those $50 blow-and-go scams and the hidden fees they use to extort you. And most importantly, we explored the physics and chemistry of a true, professionally extracted deep clean and how it acts as a vital reset for your home's air quality.
The ultimate takeaway is that your home is an interconnected ecosystem. You cannot treat the floor as an isolated surface and expect the air you breathe to be clean.
And you have the power to maintain that ecosystem properly. Don't let your carpets hold your home's air quality hostage, and don't fall for the cheap illusions. Call the sponsor now. Carpet and Rug Cleaning in Georgia. Phone 404-891-0225.
Give them a call for sure.
Reach out to the verified professionals at Four Seasons Air Care LLC for your carpet cleaning, air duct cleaning GA, crawl space encapsulation, and all your HVAC and restoration needs.
Before we sign off, there is one final mechanical thought I want to leave you with.
Oh, what's that?
We have spent this entire deep dive looking down, focusing intensely on the microscopic world trapped deep inside our carpets. But consider the physics of the entire room. If you bring in a professional and your carpet is finally pristine and free of allergens, but the air ducts in the ceilings directly above you are still lined with years of Georgia pollen, pet dander, and construction dust, what happens the next time your air conditioning kicks on? Are you just raining all that hidden airborne debris right back down onto your freshly cleaned floors?
Now, that is a chilling but entirely necessary question to ask yourself about your own home. Check your vents, folks. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.